Jessica Alanis.
All right, keep it going for yourselves. Wednesday night, you having fun? Feeling good? Feeling fun? I like it. We got both sides. Just got to keep my eyes on you guys. I like this. I like this. Man, we were talking about vaccines. I got vaccinated for my job as well, but it was my job of being my mom's favorite. That's why I had to do it. I got to keep that going. I know. I wanted to start cute. Wanted to make sure we started as cute as possible. I am originally from Texas. My name is Jessica Alanis. And like I grew up assuming that everybody was Mexican. Did you guys not think there were other options? I had no idea. Cause like I grew up in South Texas, so where I grew up, everybody is Mexican. Like even the blonde people, blonde hair, blue eyes, you're like, tú sabes, you're in it, you know? Someone once told me they were Spanish, and I was like, no, babe, that's the language. That's not a thing. That's not an option. Because we all grow up with the same culture, right? So we all have like quinceañeras, we eat tacos, we don't know our dads. Like we all have that same upbringing, you know? So I just assumed. It wasn't until I got to LA that I realized people thought I was white. And I know you're like, yeah, you look entitled and like you say, ooh, I got a skedaddle, you guys. Like, I know, like I probably trip and say, oopsie daisies. Like I get the vibe that I put off. I get it. But I'm Mexican and I moved here and immediately people started talking to me about yoga and their chakras. And I was like, are you saying chanclas? What are you talking about? What is that? I got invited to Pilates. I thought they said paletas. I was like, this is not ice cream. This isn't ice cream. What is this? What? I don't know. I thought I looked Mexican. I did. I thought I gave off the vibe until I met Mexicans from like East LA. And then I was like, oh, I'm white. Lo siento. I'm white. You're right. You guys, you got it. Lo siento. I do try to be part of the culture though, because I want to be a part of my culture. So I'll do things like I wear my hair curly, I wear hoop earrings because that's the uniform, you know? I root for the Raiders because I'm like, that's where everybody's hanging out. I gotta go. I'm not a Raiders fan, but I do get Raiders fans. Anybody Raiders? No? Just one? I get Raiders fans, and I feel like I relate to them because I'm also fiercely loyal to men who continuously disappoint me. So I get it. I get the culture. I get it. But, you know, I try to be a Raiders fan, and, like, I even spent a night in jail once because I was that committed to being a part of my culture, you know? I did. It was just one night because I'm not that Mexican, you know? I spent one night in jail. I got a DWI when I was in college. And I gotta say, I do not recommend it at all because that was expensive, dude. I don't recommend college. I don't recommend college at all. Too expensive, too much. Jail, on the other hand, not that bad. Like, yes, they take away your rights, your privacy, your freedom, but like, that's just being a woman in Texas, you know? It felt like home to me. I was like, this is cozy. Women shouldn't make decisions. This is nice. I like this. It wasn't my fault, though. It was before Uber and Lyft existed. You know, it was back in the day, if you don't remember, when you had to have a designated driver. And for those who are younger and don't know, a designated driver was when you had a group of friends and there was one person whose only rule for the night was to stick to Bud Light. Do you guys remember that? Did y'all have that here too? I don't know. No, it was so weird. Outside, someone was like, hey, do you babysit? I was like, that is a wild way to say I look unemployed, but thank you so much. And then I was like, is he asking if I'm babysitting the comics? Was that it too? I was like, I don't know. They might need to be wrangled. Who knows? I'm not a babysitter. And then I was like, oh, maybe he just thought I was Mexican. And he was like, yeah, you got it. You're the one. I know. I was celebrating Mother's Day this weekend, as I'm sure most of you guys were. And I was thinking about it. I don't have any kids. I'm single, but I want to be a mom eventually. I want to have kids because I want a husband, kids, divorce. Like, I want the whole package. I want it all. I want the whole package. But it made me think. I realized there's like two types of moms out there. There's two types of moms. There's the moms who like dream about having kids their whole life. Like that's all they want. That's their dream job. And then there's the moms who have happy accidents. And I think I'm going to be one of those, you know? Or sorry, in Texas they call them blessings you didn't know you needed. That's I was an accident. I was a happy accident. I was. But I wasn't like a, oh no, I'm 17 accident. I was like an, oh no, I already have 3 and don't want any more accident. That was me. That was me. She's like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, I know. My mom went to the doctor and she was like, I want to get my tubes tied. I am done having kids. No more. And the doctor's like, totally, 3 is a lot to have. That's true. But you're going to have to wait 9 months because you're pregnant, you know? And it's Texas, right? So they were like, you kind of have to have it. You can't do anything else about it. You got to have it. And so, yeah, here I am. But it was fine. And she said accident. And I told her, I was like, what do you mean an accident? Like a car accident is an accident. You already had 3 kids. That's just bad planning, babe. That's just bad planning. Like, come on. I was like, she was shocked. She put the key in the car, turned it, and it started. I was like, that, of course. What are you talking about? Of course that was going to happen. I do love my mom though. She's a funny lady. I like to think about, I'm 34, and so I think about what was my mom doing when she was my age? What was she doing? Because like when she was 34, she had a husband, a house, and 2 kids. And I'm 34, I have no husband, no house, and I gave myself a black eye the other day by dropping my phone on my face. So, we're just having a little different lives here, different lives. But the older I've gotten, the more I'm like, man, my mom's like my best friend, She is. She's like my best friend. She's more like that friend that you don't see often. So you call and you're like, hey, let's hang out. And then 10 minutes in, you're like, oh, I remember why I don't hang out with you. Oh, you're kind of mean. I remember now. I remember. She's like that friend. She's like that friend. I do have a lot of respect for her, though, because, like, she raised me and my 3 older siblings by herself. And she got us through high school, through college. Between the 4 of us, there's 6 master's degrees, which is super impressive for my 3 older siblings who each have 2 master's degrees. Like, they did so well. They did so good. Good for them. We are really close, though. I love my siblings. Like, I actually was in New Jersey helping my sister with my 2-year-old nephew. I was babysitting for a few weeks. And again, I don't have kids of my own, so I don't know why they trust me, but, like, I think I've convinced them to, like, give me a chance because I say things like, hey, get that out of your mouth, or don't lick that, Just things they tell me not to do on a first date, I just, like, say back to their kids. I'm like, that seems like we're the same person, right? I don't know, I've convinced them. Like, I kind of do think, though, I'm like the Donald Trump of babysitting. Like, I am not qualified to do the job, and I should not be in charge of that many people, but, like, they keep asking me, so I keep showing up. I'm like, all right, we'll do it. We'll deal with those problems later, not my, I don't know. At the end of it, it's a lot to raise kids. At the end, I was like, man, maybe we should put them in cages. Maybe we should. Oof, too much. No, but taking care of kids is like kind of like dating for me. I feel like it's the same. Like you got to repeat yourself to people. Like they start touching things and you're like, no, don't do that. And they keep trying. You're like, what did I say? No, don't do that. Same principles there. I went to go babysit because I'm recently unemployed, which is fun. You guys obviously relate to that. I'm recently unemployed and it's fine. I don't mind it. I just hate that nobody cared. Like you all right now. No one cares. No one feels bad for me. I told my friends, I called them and I was like, hey, I got laid off today. And they were like, yeah, but you hated that job. And I was like, yeah, but I hated that job the same way married women hate their husbands, okay? Like, yes, I was going to whine and cry and complain about it, but I wasn't going to leave, I wasn't going to leave. I need dinner. I wasn't going to quit. I'm going to quit, I wanted them to be more concerned for me, but they weren't. My mom, too, she was giving me advice about it. My mom's advice in general is just bad. It's bad. Like, for jobs, everything, dating especially is awful. She used to give me advice, and she'd be like, you know what, Jessica? You're 34. Just settle. I was like, that's not great. I thought I was. Like, have you seen my track record? And then she changed it. She was like, you know what? Don't settle. Just lower your expectations. I was like, I don't think you know what good advice is. I don't think we're struggling here. But now she told me, she was like, maybe you should go back to church. Maybe you'll meet a nice man at church. And I was like, you know what? I did grow up Catholic, so I will go to church on holy days of obligation, you know? So Christmas, on Easter, when I'm late for my period, like those are the days I'm going to go pray, right? Because I want a boyfriend, not a baby daddy. That's what. My friends tell me, they're like, you know what, Jessica, you got to change the kind of guys you date. You got to switch it up. They're like, you should date somebody who's like a CEO, you know, and drives like a Tesla. Someone who knows the difference between affect and effect, right? Someone who can spell Wednesday without saying Wednesday. That's like, that should be the guy. And I try, I really do try. It's just that, like, the guys I date are the ones who join the military to help pay for college. But by college, they mean child support. Like, that's my guy. That's my guy. The more kids, the better, you know? Like, they're like, you know, they don't know, they don't have Teslas, they've got BMW. They're the ones who drive the old Honda Civics where the hood of the car is a different color than the rest of the car. Like, that's my guy. That's my helpful Honda guy, you know? I don't know, there's just something about a guy getting out of a Tesla in a suit that I'm like, oh, that's so try-hard. Gross. No. Like, you probably signed the back of your credit card. What a loser. No, thank you. No, thank you. But, babe, a guy with a gold chain getting off the bus? Oh, my God. I'm like, that's my guy. That's my guy. That's him. I'm like, what route is that? Mr. Economical? Okay. I love that. I'm like, do you need my car? I don't know. I need to work on that. I need to up that a little bit. Wednesday. That's a tough one. That's a tough one for everybody. She's like, yep. I do. I tried the dating apps too. Everybody's tried them. And I stopped because I matched with one guy, and he was like, hey, quick question. Is English your second language? And I was like, oh my God, he thinks I speak Spanish. That's so nice. That is so nice. And then I asked him why. And he was like, oh, it's because you misspelled so many words in such a short amount of time. I just assumed you didn't know the language. And I was like, no, English is the first. Disappointing men is the second. That's for sure. That's for sure. I don't know. And then another one, I matched with a guy. His name was G. Just the letter. And I was like, oh, maybe his name's like Garfield, and he's embarrassed. So I asked him. I said, hey, what's the G short for? And he was like, that's my lucky letter. And I was like, oh, well, what's your name? And he was like, it's John, but my friends call me Henry. And I was like, exactly. I was like, I didn't realize your name would be the hardest part of our relationship. And he was like, well, what's your name? And I was like, well, it's Jessica. Because I didn't think people, when they saw what's your name, took it as a suggestion. I didn't, my fault, my mistake for saying my real name. So dumb. So anyways, I'm single, hanging out by myself. It's real fun. It's real cool. I don't mind it. I've got a little dog. She keeps me company. You guys dog people? Yeah, a few dog people. I have a little Chiweenie. A little Chiweenie. If you're not familiar, they're half Chihuahua, half pee when they get excited. That's a Chiweenie, you know? Which honestly, same. I'm like, I relate. I get it. I love my little dog, though. I got her as a Christmas gift when I was in college. I got her from my college boyfriend, which is a horrible gift. He was like, babe, here's responsibility for 14 years. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's so nice. He didn't even pay for her. He gave it to me, and then I've been paying for her for 14 years. It's been great. It's been great. It's been great. I do love her, though. I did, and to his defense, I asked him to get me a dog, but I asked him the same way I asked him to stop cheating on me, you know? Like, I didn't think it was really going to happen. I just thought it would make me happy, you know? I just thought it would be fun to get me that. That's so silly. In case you all are worried about me, I am in therapy, so have no fear. We will be... No, I'm okay. I'm in therapy, and I like my therapist, but, like, it took me a while to find one I really could connect with. You know, because the first one I had, I would tell her my problems, and she was like, that's tough. I was like, yeah, babe, I'm going to need some more words from that. I already knew that. That wasn't helpful. And the next one was like, I was like, I'm going to be single forever. And she was like, you know what? So is Tracy Ellis Ross, girl. You're fine. And I was like, Babe, she's Tracy Ellis Ross. Dude, we were dealt a different deck of cards, okay? Like, I know what you're trying to say, but the only takeaway I'm getting is that money does buy happiness, okay? Like, this was not helpful by any means. The last one I have, she's cool. She's about my same age, so it feels like just two girls gossiping for an hour, and I love it. She'll come in, and she's like, Jessica, I am so annoyed today. I'm like, ooh, you first, babe, you first. I went first last week. You're right. It's your turn. Go ahead. And she'll just go on. And it just feels like two girlfriends for an hour, just gossiping, telling about life, talking about life. But like, I was in a sorority in college, so I'm used to paying for my friends. So it feels natural to me. It feels right. Feels pretty good. All right, I got to skedaddle, you guys. My name's Jessica Alanis. Y'all have a fantastic evening.